Hello and welcome to the Middlemen. They call us jurors here. I am Olajumoke. Today I'm joined by jurors Emeka Magnago, who thinks all's not well with the attempts by pay TV service operator to raise tariff, and juror Labako, who thinks Nigeria is losing face in the Committee of Nations. Plus, the juror from Rabbi himself, Evansi, who joins us from the United States. I will be asking if it was Nigeria that happened to landmark. All of these issues we will discuss when we come back from this show. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Middleman.
Yeah, welcome back to the Middleman. My case today, Nigeria happened to landmark. Seeing the videos of demolitions at landmark beachfront property, my spirit groaned. Millions of dollars down the drain. We go with thousands of government aids to Dubai to seek investment, yet destroy investment here. The most painful part is that the project may be abandoned at the Lagos access. Why didn't it even start from Calabar? More importantly, why are the current roads not being rehabilitated with the trillions of naira being used for this road? Then, Minister of Mine, abusing citizens because they disagree with the way the project is going is another anomaly that has become a norm here. Who is the boss? Who is the servant? Government workers have taken the shapes of gods here. Now, wow, Nigeria never happened to me. The people who say I should stop saying that, brother, Nigeria happened to you. Say amen if you can. And all these, while EFCC and Cubana chief priests have decided to settle after court for defacing the naira. What does that even mean? My verdict: until Nigeria happens to you before you realize that you can do all the right things and still be on the wrong side of government here. The ones doing the wrong things may know their way around. The law is for the poor. Justice is for the rich in Nigeria.
Wow. Penetrating words there. I have Mr. Gerald Jumoke. You've raised a very vital case and ended it with a packed punch. But let me begin with the last issue you raised. You take a man to court. He pleads not guilty.
Yes.
What are you then going to settle out of court?
God bless you. I wish that the juror from Rabbi was here to tell us the law.
Yes.
Right?
Since the
somebody says he's not guilty.
Said not guilty.
So what are you going to settle out of court?
I think what logic should demand is
to prove his guilt.
No. Is if you want to discontinue prosecution, quash the
entire case.
Withdraw the case.
Yes, meaning that he's not guilty.
That's what you do. Yes.
And that you even brought him to court in error.
Yes, exactly. In which case,
I think is the issue. EFCC has saying he has no case.
In which case you will even have to pay damages.
Yes.
But they argue. So what is that different from the actress that was taken to court, that was convicted, and Bobrisky that also went to court? Because for me, from a layman's point of view, I am speaking based on set of evidence.
Yes.
Video evidence of somebody paying money.
Yes.
Was video AI generated? No. Was it a real life recording?
You know what it is video? What it is video? You can say that it was fake.
No, but so in which case you now have to do metadata testing, forensic analysis to be sure that it was not doctored.
Yes.
So if the video was not doctored,
what about the currency?
And about somebody, no, it's fine. No, the point where, but who knows? If it was a currency, then they should have gone to debate that in the court, because that is another crime.
Dummy currency.
No,
you can play with dummies.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you tell which is which? Because in the end, they should be able to call witnesses. But the question again is, what is the matter of a man saying not guilty, and the next year is you're going to settle out of court?
So how settle out of what?
The thing doesn't balance out. But let's come back to the main issue.
The main issue, yes.
One, investor confidence is being driven away. Two, is the fact that jobs are going to fly through the window.
Thousands of them. Three,
is the fact that the priority of government is a problem, is in question. For some days now, the people have been circulating that video of it being near Ekpoma Road or so.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is a road that is a non-road.
Yes.
Okay? Yet, government will leave an economically viable road like that can bring prosperity to common Nigerians. And you're going to face somebody who, when the chips are down, is not clear that it is either because of his son name or the language he speaks that has made a victim of that thing that's about to happen there.
Yes, sir.
But how do you look at an investment of that quantum? And the only thing you can say that is that you want to bring it down. I thought in the end, government looks at pros and cons, cost benefit ratio.
Yes.
What is the
particularly because that road was earmarked to be behind.
Let's evaluate what is the particular.
The old water corporation road is still there.
But can I?
And what is the particular virtue of a road of this kind now?
Exactly.
When you have money, so when you can pump money into insecurity, pump it into agriculture, pump it into education for out of school children, your priority is to do a luxury road.
No, I think
that will lead to nowhere.
I think I'll
it was even railway.
I think
I'll carrying goods from the ports.
I think I'll weigh in on it, from a different angle. Yes, it's a government project that's been earmarked from a very long time.
Yes.
Now, that project was actually meant to open up coastal roads, because I remember successive governments talked about it. Obasanjo, Buhari, I think, skirted around it. Babangida talked about it. That road and the Badagry Sokoto road, but so now, noble intent, which I felt that given the kinds of financing options we have in the 21st century, I felt that road should have been allowed to continue with the BOT, build, operate, and transfer model.
Yes.
That if it had gone without BOT, then I wouldn't have any quarrel with it. Secondly, it has exposed something in the hypocrisy in our road designs in this country. Look at Lagos Ibadan Expressway, for instance. A few meters from it is supposed to be a slip road, a slip road. But what do you have? When you go down the slip road after, the long bridge, you find out that, at a certain point, it has been blocked off and taken over even by filling stations, by buildings, and all of that. And then, in some years to come, one government will wake up and say it wants to expand the slip road because that road was designed by governments
in 1960
before independence, and they start demolishing houses. Why do you allow those properties to even be established there in the first place? Because one, take note that anything that has to do with government, there must be a setback. If government has earmarked a project, even if it is away from the road, there must be a setback left and a setback right. Then there must be like 97.8 meters from the middle of that road to the end, to the extreme of the road. So anybody building nearby, building within that setback knows that whatever property he or she owns is just
for the meantime.
For the meantime, yes, until, and that's why you see some people will tell you no problem. Whenever government wants to demolish, they are fine. They will, take it like that. But you see, I felt that the press conference, the Minister of Works,
talking about the minister,
that he would have just come out to
and explain the facts,
details,
and leave sentiments away.
Okay, landmark. Yes, you built at a time, so and so and so had not happened. But take note that under the law, under the highways law, one, lands are vested under the law. Lands are vested in the government.
Yes.
Two, in a road construction, government can vary the direction of the road. It happened in Kaduna during the time of Jonathan, when the Eastern bypass, some people alleged it was diverted because the original path would have cleared the home of the vice president, Namadi Sambo then. So it was diverted, so that anything within the path or close to is at risk, So if you had outlined all those things, you could have sat down and settled with the owner of a landmark, Paul, just a minute, and said, okay, we know you have invested XYZ and all of that. Okay, can we do it in such a way that we can locate your resort, maybe closer into the sea, because I'm aware that in Lagos State, when you buy land close, to the sea, that the government has a way, in terms of you can reclaim some of the water, as part of erosion.
Atlantic.
Thank you. So you could have negotiated that, but all of this now is playing to the gallery. Eventually, good reason will prevail, and they will go back to where they ought to have started from the beginning. That is my grounds with the way some of these things
I wanted to interrupt you with a question, sir. Based on what you were saying, that Umai should just have come to that press conference and said to the owner of Landmark, Ogao.
No, even before now.
No, anyway, Ogao, these are the facts, because they have been accusing him of playing politics since he has been complaining that he took into cognizance that they were going to build a road behind before he started investing millions in dollars. Now, if you came to him and approached that this investment that is employing thousands and paying taxes in billions, right? But we have to do this for the betterment of the generality of citizens in Lagos and Nigeria. But to allow you time, we will start from Calabar. Because it's supposed to be Lagos, Calabar. Because
after the road, after the resort.
If you start from Calabar and tell him that eventually this road will still reach here, you give him enough time to relocate. Relocate is what I'm looking for. Relocate his resort somewhere else. But you immediately, before everybody has enough time to even talk about the issue, you start to bamboozle his investment, like there's a personal vendetta. Now, regardless of all of the conspiracy theories that people are claiming, like government is deaf, that one, this man is from one region, let's even leave religion and ethnicity. Two is to favor one man who owns Eco Atlantic. All of those theories are flying up left and center. And then you come to a press conference and leave the real issues to start looking at the journalist phonetics.
Very, very funny.
Very unprofessional.
Very funny. Very unfortunate. You see, the issue is the way they've handled this whole issue now doesn't leave anything by way of civilization or enlightenment for those coming behind. Usually things like this can always happen in a society where something has to give it for something else to happen. It's fine, it's okay.
Yes.
But how does a government handle? Now they thought of using 2.7 billion naira for compensation. Let me say this.
Out of that he will make in a year.
Just the amount that he pays about 2 billion naira or so.
Exactly, every year to Lagos State.
Now the point but see the other issue. How, first of all, we went from BOT to demanding the full value for the project.
Yes.
And when the matter burst, we went from demanding full value to saying counterpart funding.
Yes.
He brings some, we bring some.
Yes.
Now, and this project is not even in the budget for information. It's not in the budget.
Yes.
So now the question is,
where is the counterpart funding?
And who is paying what? Who is paying what? Government that is paying, that has a letter of the money to pay, ostensibly, is one paying resettlement for
somebody else's business.
I'm not even looking at the resort, because a resort can always be relocated.
Yes.
Yes, give it. It can always be relocated. It's the coast. It can even move away from that place to even a better location.
Yes.
All those things can be settled. But the technical issues, for me, must be provided by the Tinubu administration.
We will take a break now. When we return, Juror Evans Opegi has a question for the EFCC on its prosecution of former Governor YAHAYA. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
My case. So lately, I have been ruminating on the BELLO EFCC case and the seeming revelations that the EFCC have released through its chairman by the various press conferences that the commission have organized since the investigation of BELLO commenced. Now, at the risk of not sounding different from earlier positions, I wish to say that the EFCC have, in so many ways lately, contributed to the debacle that has engulfed its prosecutorial powers and his powers under the law, largely so. It is clear that the EFCC have consistently made attempts to arrest Yahaya Bello, despite the fact that there's a standing court order of the High Court of Kogi State precluding the EFCC to so do. Now, the EFCC have conducted itself in such a way that by hounding, by intimidating, by harassing a citizen, Yahaya Bello, to this effect, have resorted to a situation where he ran to the State High Court. Anytime the EFCC intimidates, tries to stop a citizen from, enforcing his fundamental rights under the law, the commission runs into problem. And this problem continues to linger, and sometimes it stifles their capacity or ability to have the case prosecuted. This is what is ongoing. A man you said you want to investigate, you want to try, you abandon all the procedures of law at the same time and are making statements rather to prosecute a suspect. The prosecution must conduct himself proper. There was an order before the Kogi State High Court, and that order had not been complied with by the EFCC. That is where they met the brick wall. They did not comply with that order. They went to the house of the defendant, the suspect in this case, and start making a scene and the drama there. In so doing, the EFCC have committed contempt of court. And that is why, as we speak today, the defendant had gone to court now to file for contempt, compelling the chairman of the EFCC to come and show cause before the court why he should not be committed to prison for contempt of court. Okay? So the EFCC is a high-ranking agency of government in this country that we must all support. We must all, because we need the EFCC even more than we need some of the institutions that we have today. But the EFCC must conduct himself in a way that it will show that truly it is ready to prosecute and fight crime and criminality. The EFCC chairman had in one of the media press conference told the public that he called the governor, which he ought not to have done, and that he even told the governor to come in through his back door if he's afraid of the journalists and the allegation that some persons are most likely going to embarrass him. Now, the EFCC chairman, in doing that, sold the agency out to the public, and that was in bad taste because it shows there's discrepancy. It shows that the EFCC can allow for a elite to be treated in a particular way and the ordinary citizens to be treated in another way, creating two sets of procedures or law for the society, and that was a very bad one. Okay? If Yahaya Bello must be prosecuted as it stands now, the EFCC must first submit itself to the contempt proceedings, because he that comes to equity must come with clean hands. So that is why I advise that if you want to prosecute a man, don't push him first with intimidation and fears and hounding him, because in doing that, you push him to go to court. He gets to court and obtain an order against you and stifles the powers under the law. The law did not say that a man should go and procure an order of court to stop an agency of government from performing its function. The law is that you can go to court to get an order of court to preclude an agency of government from abusing its powers under the law, which is what has happened in this case. My verdict: the EFCC must now submit itself to the jurisdiction of the State High Court, which it did before. When it has a valid appeal, it has to go back there now to go and answer for the contempt of court. until that order precluding his arrest is vacated, either on appeal or in any other way, another procedure acceptable by law, it will be difficult for it to prosecute Yahaya Bello. And the lessons we should learn from this is that the Constitution says in Section 35 that once there's reasonable suspicion that somebody has committed a crime, all the agency need is to arrest. And that's what the only thing the law says. The law does not say go to the press. It says start pursuing him. This is how they start issuing threats and the rest of that. Because when you do that, the party under reference goes to court and procure an order against the agency. Let's do things right. Let's ensure that we follow procedures and the rule of law. I shall go to Rabbi again.
That was a very fantastic case from the juror from Rabbi, right? My only question to EFCC is, why do you always lose your case in court? What's happening wrong? What's happening wrong? I do not understand.
No.
If it's not technicality, they will settle out of court.
Like they are doing with
Cubana chief priest.
No, but you see, when people say EFCC lost the case, I don't know what the equivalent of it is in law.
It's but Nigeria that is losing the case.
In football, they say match fixing. Not every loss is a loss. It's an organic loss. There are gainers. There are those who have gained.
You mean that they are chasing Yahaya Bello vehemently so that maybe they settle out of court?
No, but let's even face the matter. The Yahaya Bello case is dead.
So of course.
No.
Totally dead.
Except that earlier today, there was a report about a meeting, a WhatsApp conversation
leaked WhatsApp
among some cabinet members in
Kogi State. How he also bribed the
judges in dollars. If not for that leakage.
That revived the matter. He was already dead on arrival.
But let me tell you something. You leak chats, so you leak even video evidence, so these things are baseless before the court, unless they are admitted in evidence by the court. You see, as far as the court is concerned, the court cannot see anything. The court cannot hear anything.
Yes.
So all these things
except the evidence.
Like I've been telling some of my colleagues, I say, all these things we are reporting, we're just engaging in sensationalism. Because, like I was taught in journalism, that the only time you can say that a piece of evidence is what is weight
is when it's admitted in court.
When the court admits it in evidence. A court can throw out a piece of evidence.
Yes, sir.
A court can say,
don't waste our time.
The prosecutor or the defense, go and amend this evidence.
Yes.
Or go and attach some other things to this evidence. Or go and swear an affidavit.
That
in support
is
of this all the evidence that this thing you didn't forge it at Oluwole or one corner shop. So go and swear and which is which could amount to 7 years, for perjury if you are lying. Like when Bobrisky was asked by the judge, are you male or female? And he quickly said male.
So you're not gonna be
if he had said female, the judge would have ordered for him to have gone to be tested.
Yes.
And if he was found to be examined, if he was found to be male, that would have amounted to 7 years in jail automatically for perjury, for lying on oaths. And so he just quickly said he was male. And they
found his male genitalia intact.
So the point is this. The point I'm trying to make is that, you see, the EFCC should just go to the National Assembly, sit down, even though some of his members are his suspects anyway, but go to the National Assembly and sit down and look for a comprehensive review of the act, of his enabling act. Because one, money laundering is 7 years. Two, sometimes EFCC has taken a matter before the penal code in the north and look at the punishment prescribed, for stealing.
Sir, Johnny Yame
in the
and
south,
his counterparts.
Good. What were they sentenced for?
14 years each. But after 2 years.
Concurrently.
After 2 years, President Buhari pardoned them.
Yeah, so those
yes.
are so. You see, in
After
amending
10 years in court.
in amending the EFCC, the enabling act of the EFCC, in amending it, I would suggest that anybody convicted of, that one, it should not even just be money laundering. It should be tax fraud. So you arraign the person before the tax tribunal. That has its own sentence. Then, 2, you arraign the person for theft. Grand larceny. It's called grand larceny in the United States and some other countries. Grand larceny. So it's not just theft as in stealing biscuits or stealing granola.
Are you counting extra counts? Because EFCC always have 20 to 30 counts.
No. What I'm saying,
And the court will throw out
it can
all of
even
them.
be just 5 counts. Tax fraud. 1, what you did was that the money you took prevented government from making taxes and revenue
from them.
from that money.
True.
So you have deprived government of revenue.
Yes.
That is tax fraud.
Yes.
2, because government is going to pay tax. Government will deduct the tax element from that money.
Yes.
Government is going to pay tax from it. If it is a contract you diverted or you misappropriated, government should check the value of the VAT, withholding tax, personal income tax of all the people that should have worked on it, calculated everything.
I'm sure there's a monetary policy law says that nobody in his right state of mind will have dollars in his pocket and go and pay school fees in advance.
No. Well,
So if you check the law well, I'm sure that there's a crime in that regard also.
No, of course.
That you even
No,
want
there
even
is.
if you have the money, will you go and
but-
pay school fees
no,
in
but-
advance? When school fees normally change,
changes.
arbitrarily.
So that's why I'm saying that all this that EFCC has been putting out in public amounts also
No, but
to
EFCC,
compromising
like,
evidence.
they always
but
do it.
my-
Now, media
no, so-
trial. Now
Yes,
today,
but let's not take something away from it. Without prejudice to the things we've seen, right?
yes.
We cannot sit here and speak ex cathedra to say this can be accepted and this can be accepted. Until evidence has been tendered, we can't speak for it. But what we saw is what we've seen, okay? And we can speak to it on that fair comment. Now, the BELLO case, like I said, it had already done. Except that the issue
Of
the thing we saw today
leaked
now
messages.
has sort of resurrected it, and Rabbi Joe Evans is revisiting it again. I think that the real crisis here, again, without prejudice to the position, I have also held in the past, which is to say, yes, government people couldn't have gone to the Avenue to arrest him. The government people are the ones resisting them from arresting him. And for one,
Don't be every day.
and for 5 hours.
Remember that that woman in River State.
Yes.
That DSS came from Abuja. God bless you.
But
And Wike.
she did that. But the real issue here is this. I think that like BELLO and like many other cases, the real reason why the EFCC that does not really win the anti-corruption war is because they lack the administrative, legal, and prosecutorial acumen in fighting corruption. I'll give an example. There is there's a word called indictment. Why don't they ever indict?
True.
If you arrest, arrest doesn't mean that you accuse the person. You arrest, then you can accuse. So that's why they arrest you. They can either charge you or not.
Yes.
Actually, so you arrest, then you accuse formally. When you accuse, you can charge. But before you even charge, you can indict and say, okay, the evidence against you is strong. We have camera, video, whatever.
You have been indicted.
Do you want us to go on to prosecuting you or will you enter into plea bargaining? So plea bargaining means that you still go to court, then you charge. But you can't tell the judge, say this man has already is willing to plead guilty and play ball.
Yes.
So mitigate the sentence, that kind of thing.
No,
So
but
you will achieve conviction.
And collect back some of your money.
Hush puppy is an example.
But in this Yahaya Bello's case, the EFCC has only been engaging in media trial.
So that's what I'm saying
It
now.
doesn't prove that
They are even going to withdraw,
against Yahaya Bello.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
doesn't prove that.
So
Wait, so I disagree. EFCC chairman, Mr. Olukorede said that he will resign if he does not arrest Yahaya.
We're waiting for that resignation because the day he took his oath of office, he didn't tell us that he was going into office to fight Yahaya Bello. That is vindictive and that is unlawful.
Anyways, that's how far. When we come back,
He should leave Yahaya Bello alone.
the man you pursue him, the man.
If he wants
President
to,
Governor
If
gave
he-
him his boots to run away.
If he wants to resign, let him resign. Let him leave there. Let him not sign Yahaya Bello because of his frustration.
When we come back, Juremeka has some questions as to the propriety or the rights of the planned tariff hike in pay TV services. That's what we'll come back. Stay with us.
My case, DSTV, GOTV hikes, challenge for Nigeria's creatives. Multi-Choice announced a hike in the price of their bouquets, recently. It was the second time in just a few weeks and has understandably set tongues wagging. The Consumer Price and Protection Tribunal had ruled that the hike be put on hold, but Multi-Choice still went ahead with it, claiming that it had not been served with the ruling. The tribunal also directed all parties to the suit to appear before it on May 7, 2024. The hike amid similar price increases is a burden on Nigerians struggling to survive. Yes, Multi-Choice offers home entertainment through its various bouquets. And in a depressed economy, this counts for a lot. It's a stress reliever for Nigerians amid the worsening economy. Articles have been flying around for and against the fresh hike. Just yesterday, too, the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, narrated his encounter with a teenage Yahoo boy fraud suspect who was able to unearth his bank details. The prodigal's history undergraduate said he took to the obnoxious trade because his farmer parents had been unable to access their farms as a result of bandits. So his education had been hampered and so he had to resort to crime to survive. What does all this say? There is enough ground for creative Nigerians to cover. By verdict, while Multi-Choice reserves the right to place rates on its offerings, the Nigerian government must ensure that none of these violates its fair pricing laws. Though there are alternative offerings such as debutant SLTV, Netflix, Showmax, the Nigerian government needs to lend its weight to the development of a solid world-class local creative industry. Nollywood needs to push above its weight in terms of issues plaguing the industry. Nigerian creatives must also throw up content that can compete with the offerings from Multi-Choice. In this age of smart TV, certainly more and more Nigerians will gladly watch quality content sourced from alternative channels. The Nigerian government needs to break the monopoly of Multi-Choice in sports, especially prime content from foreign football leagues. It is doable, and the best time is now. No opportunity wasted.
You see, the problem that I have with you, Elite, is that you leave there's a Yoruba saying. Yes, there's a Yoruba saying that you have something you be doing, scratching lapa. When you have HIV/AIDS, you are scratching lapa. You leave the ringworm. You leave the main issue. I spent 5 hours looking for petrol. May 1st, when I was supposed to be sleeping. You see, after 5 hours on that queue, and I saw that there was only one more car that was moving, I realized, no, this cannot be normal. I got down and ran to the petrol station. They were bailing water from the tank. There was electricity sparking on top. I entered the car, drove to another. I'm not proud to tell you what I did at the other filling station. We just heard that somebody was shot by a security operative because they were trying to enter from front. Those ones refused. They shot the guy. The boys in the filling station touched the 3 Hilux vehicles from the security operative, almost touching the entire petrol station. One guy by the roadside was offering me 5 liters at 6,000 naira. That's 1,200 liters. You people will leave HIV, be scratching lapa.
Yeah, but you know.
What's our business with what is happening with DSTV? Why go watch TV? You know, come. What's the price of bag of rice in your area? No first, I want to even ask. Have you told government to come the monopoly of rice seller? Oh God.
No.
Nigerian elite. How many Nigerians watch DSTV first? Let us even ask. How many DSTV subscribers are there in Nigeria? Are they up to 10 million out of 200 million population?
It's possible.
What's our business with DSTV? We were watching NTA.
Because you are
watching NTA.
You are part of the creative industry.
Creative. You have mentioned now. There are plenty other ones.
But they are not giving us.
There's Play TV. TV, you people say they did not know how to manage the business well. You took a monopoly of sports from them. There's NTA. What's their own? Start Times. I'm very angry. What's our business with DSTV?
But we need.
Yes, the government should call the monopoly. I think call the monopoly of rice sellers.
No, of course.
The condition of things in the economy today calls for multiple avenues.
Yes, of escape. And that's
look, buy data. Use Nigerian data suppliers. Buy data. Go and watch skits on your phone.
But don't like to charge the phone.
True, Shai, you don't have that.
So he's a bandless man.
I live in an abandoned band.
So you know, but the case he has made is strong. Actually, I think that with better internet penetration and opening up of the market for better competition, the chokehold that money shares of Nigerians will be broken. It was broken in the past, but this magnetic had to go back.
Nigeria happened to that one.
Of course, yes. Nigeria happened. I think that, you see, it's a sad commentary, but I have to put it out here that business in Nigeria that is thriving on organic value, like somebody brought 10 million naira and began a business and grew
to billions.
Is difficult to see. A lot of things money you see is money that was stolen. I'm sorry.
True.
So that's why the psychology of managing source money is not the same as here. So you find that I think that we lack, with respect to those who are in business, and we generally speaking, we appear to lack a solid management culture that nurtures things
from ground zero.
Otherwise, it would have been long ago
that would have come their monopoly.
And then there's no place in the world there's no place in the world where a country will just rest on its oars
and just sit back
and
be watching foreign
people come in and
take over,
controlling major sectors of the economy. Is not done.
Wisdom.
It's not done. So we need
other country will allow it to.
So for me, the problem is not even. Of course, if you they say he who invites
who brings in
should not be surprised when Lisa pays this at night. So you find that we have invited this into our roof is gone and the rain is now falling and beating us
well in our bedroom.
So what we need to do is not just multi-choice. We need to take a very good look at ourselves. Go back and see where we're falling and raise ourselves from the bootstraps. It's not just multi-choice.
Lack of leadership.
It's lack of leadership, yes.
Did you see that our African brother? Let me remind you
when
of
TSTV came. TSTV. I think that was Strike Musiba's company. They came to Nigeria. The day they launched, fire or talks went and burned down their office and everything.
Like that you are competing with our foreign.
I don't know, but till today, no question answered.
Remember that our African brother that sent us home. In Yoruba, when they say, they sent you home, they abuse your parents for not teaching you well. That Nigerians will come. When they are in any summit abroad, they come and say, one out of every 4 blacks. Yeah, Nigeria. What's your statistics?
Who cares?
There's no Nigerian product there. What's the value? What's the nuisance value of your population?
Yeah, exactly.
It's lack of leadership.
Exactly.
But we're discussing this thing, though.
There is nothing Nigeria has today.
Consumer protection is watching like this. Then there are some people, they now organize themselves into association. Freedom of association now. Now we are the association of cable TV watchers. And we are going to protest. Are you people serious at all?
At all.
What are you talking?
You know, so it's really interesting that we are not looking at the prodigious talents we have in our midst and saying that, okay, why don't we look at, areas which we can deploy these talents? Look at that boy who could, bring out the bank details of the EFCC chairman. Somebody like that should be groomed and encouraged.
Did they give him money or they have employed him?
No, he said he gave him a scholarship. The EFCC chairman said he gave him a scholarship. But
so
I don't know. But that's beside the point. Because there are so many like him.
No, so 17-year-old, right? I even have an issue with that.
Nigeria for sure continues. Well, Juror Cyril Abako will be asking the federal government, why it keeps dealing in lies. Such a strange commodity. We'll be right back.
Middleman.
You all come back to the middleman. My case, the Nigerian government and its many untruths. The latest dose of embarrassment from the federal government relating to a supposed deal in which global logistics giant Maersk was said to have agreed to invest $600 million in Nigeria is not coming to many as a major worry anymore. Last year, the same government said a similar resolution of conflict had taken place with the UAE regarding travel restrictions. That was also not true. Which way, Nigeria? My verdict: when a government makes lies its language of business, it loses moral authority and its natural leadership and right to be believed for saying basic things. We need to know what went wrong and what sanctions have been imposed where necessary.
My guy, no sanctions will be imposed.
It was the president that
They
you sanction the president.
God bless you. And then they rode on propaganda to get into government. Who is going to look? Let me just tell foreign visitors to be careful of taking pictures with the president. If not, they may be accused of investing.
It's not becoming.
If you shake President Tinubu too hard,
yes.
you see, the smile that you are smiling is because they agreed to bilateral relations between that country and our country to invest in our waterways.
But this is not, I mean, come on.
It has become an embarrassment that no government official has responded in 48 hours.
No, but why did Biden quickly delete that?
These are
embarrassments.
Can I say
maybe the company's management called him.
Yes, now Maersk
told him that please quickly remove that thing.
You know why? Maersk said, look, our investment of $600 million is news to us. And it went viral on Twitter. So of course, you who put it out that Maersk is investing in Nigeria, I have to quickly go and delete. Won't be today.
But
Festus Kiyamo was telling us one time that trees were growing on railway. Put one picture like that on Twitter. We now went and did a small Google search. I realized that the railway was from Tanzania, one African country like that. It's not. I said they rode on propaganda. These people, maybe like in 2015, they weren't sure they were going to win. I don't know, but it was just getting at all costs. You now come and find who to the answer after getting in. Because the economy is nosediving on the daily. In fact, you have reduced the economy to dollar, and the economy indices are way more. Monetary policy, fiscal policy, nobody's even talking all of those now. Cardozo is busy releasing all our foreign reserve for dollar to bring it down. The thing went down to 1,000, has now gone back up because we did not sell more fuel, we did not produce anything, we did not export yam. So what brought it down now? Naturally, if you float it, it will go back where, and because it's not sustainable to keep on defending the naira.
Yeah, but
the thing went back up. I'm saying that they are busy focusing on the minor.
The
major is telling us to be.
Do you know there's something about doing things in a scientific way. It saves you from embarrassing blunders. I remember when, I was fully into print. I was working with a major newspaper in Nigeria. A colleague of mine told me, just made a scientific calculation. He said, look, if we want to close this production by 10 p.m., we must make sure that whatever we're doing does not cross 9:15.
So you have 45 minutes.
So yes, to just clean up maybe the bylines of people, maybe look at the masthead, look at the dates, look at the cost of the paper and everything. But that if it crosses 9:30, okay, 9:15, maybe just plus minus 9:30. But if it crosses 9:30 to 9:31, that you are going to jump over 10 p.m. So what did that bring to my mind? Look at the way they've been handling the naira. Look at the way they've been handling fuel supply. Look at the way they've been handling things. They ought to know that they ought to know that in economic theory, you have to look at bands in terms of calculating things. If prices get to this certain band, you see, you have to look at in between, right, left. and there is the average, there's a mean. Now, if you allow it to go beyond the mean, beyond the certain average, chances are that it will look up. And that was what happened when the dollar came down to almost 1,000. If they had sustained it for a few more days,
in defending it,
if they had the ability, if they had sustained it to go beyond 1,000, and it had gone down to like 900, would have been able to hold out. But unfortunately, they allowed it to just stay a little. They did not have the resources yet. So they should have at least tried that band within maybe 1,002 instead of aiming for telling people that they are aiming for 800. That is like overstretching
without producing
a belt,
without electricity,
a fan belt of a car,
without exporting.
And then now dollar is now looking very closely at the band between 1,004 and 1,006. Sorry, and when it crosses 1,005. The chances that it might jump to 2,000 are there. Already Dangote has come out to exonerate himself by that statement he made that the devaluation of the naira was the biggest mess for his company last year. So if you read in between the lines, what he says is that for those who have been saying that we're expecting Dangote to bring in dollars into the economy, now we're already messed up. We're already roasted. So we're even trying to sort out our mess. So nobody should expect anything from Dangote.
Sort out your expectations.
Sort out your own expectations. So what it means is that if care is not taken, we might be looking at a band that will go beyond 2,000. And we don't have the means. Yes, we don't have the means.
You're not really what you're saying.
I only use scientific explanation for this. And these are very simple things.
I understand.
It's just like you're talking about fuel. I consistently said it on air that we should stop all these things. We have 1 billion liters. Please sit down and do a scientific data arrangement. How many liters are you importing? Now, how many liters should you release on a daily basis? It doesn't matter even if there are there's some form of scarcity in some places. You can manage scarcity in some places, but you can deal with, you can make sure that there's regular flow in certain places.
Because of the scarcity, sir?
Look, let me tell you.
We're just importing fuel.
Let me tell you the truth. We're importing fuel and just distributing. Anybody that can just, bring tickets, they can buy. But right now, the areas where you have concentration of buyers, like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, you can't supply them because in between, as the fuel goes, you don't even know where it's going to.
Listen, yes, it's true.
You don't know where the fuel is going to.
Why is that we are subsidizing it again?
Oh no, of course. And you should know that once the CFA is accepted in 17 countries in Africa, Naira is accepted only in Nigeria. So once the CFA in the mud. Yes, once the CFA rose above the Naira, we have effectively put ourselves in a mess. That's why I've been telling people that the dollar is not our problem. Look, the enemy in your bed is a stronger enemy than the one next door.
Yes.
The CFA that is close to you and has gained strength, and for which reason Nigerian farmers look at it. By the way, why should I take my thing to Lagos? Why not just cross the border?
Cross the border to our brothers.
Go to in Cameroon, or go to Niamey, or go to any of those places. Even go to Chad. Those places are war torn. So you have government now arresting them. No, government got tired now and allowed them. So those people are moving their things anyhow. So these things are basic economics. These things are basic data gathering. If you gather data and you make your government a scientific driven government, you don't need to start lying, and things will not catch you by surprise. But what do we have? You have to lie and lie and another lie to cover the old lie and lie. Now they have used landmark. There's a landmark and P2B to cover up, but that will not even fly. True. Because we have a serious. You see this fuel thing. If care is not taken, we may have to contend with fuel scarcity for the rest of this year.
Yes, even into next year.
Do you remember it was on this middleman? No, it was on morning show of Enterprise TV that Serena and I said it. Was it in November last year?
Yeah.
That Port Harcourt refinery will not be ready by April.
Yes.
That they said.
Yes, we said.
It will not be ready by June.
Mm-hmm.
That we said they might bring up.
Yeah.
But if you have been optimistic, look at December. Lo and behold.
It is true.
What they said? They said it's December.
A refinery in
I
which
closed the case.
they said the refinery was 90% ready. That the engineers only went on Christmas break. The engineers are on Christmas break instead of supplying petrol. Doctors don't go on break. Journalists don't. It's only people doing petrol that. Because it was not ready. Later they said Shell has supplied the first batch of crude. It's only.
Then later we're waiting for them to pay.
No, my own is that a government telling like this kind of lies is on forced errors. It's not necessary.
It's an embarrassment to
Manage, you see,
how do you defend Nigeria in the committee of
it
state?
now means
just
that
allow me to just say, make one sentence. Look, if it is one cup of garri that a family has, find a way to manage it.
right.
Not to be arguing among yourselves that if this garri was up to 3 cups, you know, if it is 1 cup that Nigeria has now,
That's a game.
let's find it. Let's find a way. If it's 1 cup of fuel, let's find a way, scientific ways to manage it. While the storm is,
Yes.
we can ride the storm until
This way, the president will not be able to travel anymore. Because anywhere he wants to go, people will say he should not come because we don't know what they're going to say.
What will shake us?
They will soon go and
What will
say,
shake us? They
look
will
at
say we're investing.
Ireland's Maersk has even lost capital value.
4% of its capitalization.
Yes, they have.
They have lost 4%.
They have.
Because Nigeria government just said that
Like,
they are
yes,
investing.
yes.
Do you know these are companies that
thrive on integrity.
They are in economies that.
How many foreign if you must get investment, you leave Europe, maybe you don't need to go to Asia.
Just keep
What's
running
the
around
Indonesia?
Now
Asia.
they showed a video of where Maersk executives came to visit the president. So Google search also showed that video was from February 2024.
You can
Hi, too many
That was
lies.
with Buhari.
Well, they say if you tell a lie, you need 70 more to back it up. But
But the truth will always say
they
the truth.
didn't have to look for 70 more. They first fell on his face, and now we are here. We are. That's enough for today on the Middlemen. Hope you had a great time with us. We hope you will join in the conversation by leaving your thoughts in the comment section or visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com for other exciting content, of course. Thanks for watching, and thanks to the jurors on the table
Thank you
today,
very much.
as well as the juror from Rabbi who joined us virtually. We will come away again next time. It's bye from all of us.
Bye-bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.